weddings. You go and meet your university mates. One of them is getting married. You go. Someone will come with his car.
Yeah, the car just came to my mind.
Someone will come with their children, the wife and the kids, and they ask you, Charlie, where you there now? Charlie, what's up? You're looking good. Charlie, where you there? The money come on. It's a joke. The money come on. Where you there? But now you did some big time. Nestle or something. And like, Charlie, I have a search job. I just don't want to go through that. It gives you so much psychological pressure. Like the kind of people that you went to school with and the achievement that they've had, it can give you a huge pressure or a huge something to catch up to.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mental Health Quarters. I'm so glad you clicked on this video because it's going to be one of a kind. But before we get into the video, make sure you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit the bell button while subscribing so that you can get notified the next time a video goes up. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy.
Hi guys, I'm happy to be here. My name is Wisdom.
Okay. So Wisdom, do you want to tell everyone all over the world how we met? I should say it.
I think I'll leave that to you.
Okay. Me now, I want to say it myself. So Wisdom and I attend the same church. It's called Catch the Anointing Center, headquarters in Sakumono. It was formerly called Lighthouse Chapel International, Morning Star Cathedral branch. Make sure you come and join our services one of these days. So I used to be in a particular group in church and I changed groups and I moved to Wisdom's group. But I used to see Wisdom from afar. I never really used to talk to him or anything. As to how we became friends,
I don't know. I don't even remember.
I think we in the group we joined a subgroup, and that's when I got to know him up close and personal. I don't know when it started, how we started talking, how we started making having conversations. I don't know what happened, but I'm not an ahunsha, so I have a feeling this guy ahunshed me. He ahunshed me. Don't you think that's what happened?
I don't know. That's not how I remember it.
Okay, but just to get this straight, Wisdom, he's a very friendly person. He's very likable, affable. He's one of those people that you can easily talk to. And me, I like people like that. It's like
I can say the same about you.
I'm laughing because I don't know, but that's what he's saying. He's the one on the outside who is watching. But I have always loved Wisdom for that. You can talk to him right now, like about anything and everything, and he's very knowledgeable, not just about church. He knows a lot of stuff, and me, I like people like that who know stuff. Yeah, so that's what makes Wisdom my wonderful friend. So Wisdom, I've said a lot about you, but is there something you want to tell everyone else, like something they may be curious to know about you, about your educational background, your favorite color, favorite food, fun facts, anything, just to let them get to know a little bit about Wisdom?
Okay, so I grew up in Takrady.
Okay.
I didn't have an ordinary background or an ordinary upbringing. Even though my siblings went to normal schools, government system, I had the opportunity of getting a scholarship and attending a Cambridge school.
Wow.
And that has shaped who I am in a very great way. That's experience with other people from different countries, different cultures, has shaped who I am today. And I went to University of Cape Coast.
Okay, what did you study there?
I read biological science. I completed 2015, and currently I'm unemployed.
That's the whole point of us being here today. We are going to be talking about unemployment and then mental health, and
Yes.
I think that's what even brought Wisdom and I closer. This whole unemployment drama, plague. I don't know what to call it, but
yeah, it helped us to relate to each other because
yeah, much better. I think I'm one of the few people in my friendship circle who is unemployed, and so finding out wisdom. At the time you and I met, we were both employed, right? We both had jobs when we met in church.
That's true.
Yeah, we were teaching, we had jobs, we had money, you know, regular source of income. We were happy, we were serving God, we were loving it. And then I think who got unemployed first, me or you? I think my contract ended in 2019. 2021 December.
Okay, mine ended in COVID 2020.
Okay, so you got unemployed first before me. Yes. Yeah, so when I found out you were unemployed, I was shocked. I was like, this guy, I know he has some big job somewhere. And then I was like, wow. I think then you went into teaching.
No, it was the teaching that I lost the job.
Okay, you lost the job with the teaching. Okay, me too. I was working somewhere fancy. Not fancy, but like I loved my job. I loved my salary.
I hated my job.
Yeah.
I hated my salary.
Okay, yeah. I also used to teach before getting that fancy job. And you see, the thing about teaching is, I believe it's a calling, right?
It is. It has to be.
Calling. Yeah.
Because it drains you. You really need to motivate yourself to keep going because
it is.
Your output is more than what you get in return, honestly.
In Ghana, that's what happens.
Yes,
yeah.
Ghana,
and I think it's also one of the most difficult jobs and very, very underpaid. Like people don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like if you ask me to go back into teaching, I wouldn't want to go back because I realized it wasn't my calling. It wasn't also a strength for me, and it was like an underpaid job, lots of shouting, lots of talking. I love talking, but that kind of talking
it's exhausting.
It's another level.
Yeah.
I will talk more about my teaching, my time as a teacher in another video. But wisdom, you have been to school, you said you didn't have an ordinary life, you went to the best schools, and then you went to a very good university, a reputable university, for that matter, University of Cape Coast. So I want to know, what were your expectations for life after school? When you are done, it was say mine, because I have something to say about that one.
So, like, this is how I'm going to go into it. You know that feeling when you finish secondary school and your friends are gotten admission and you're like, oh, when am I also going to get admission? And if you don't get admission to university, you feel like you are being left behind. You're not going to amount to anything in life. So by force, you have to find a way to make it and get to university. That's the same feeling when you come out of school and things are not going well. So people got ahead. They got admission before I did. I stayed a year, wrote an deck to perfect my grades to also get a good course. So people were just doing whatever course they were given at university. So when I applied for my course and I got it, which is biological science, I was excited. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a very sought after course. So yeah, definitely when I get out, I'm going to get a good job because they need really top grades to get this course. And I was ready to put in the work. Like I wasn't making room for laziness.
Serious students.
Hit the ground and work hard after school, like put in every effort, save as much as I can, invest, start a business, whatever. Only for me to be disappointed right after school from the onset of national service.
Okay, so national service, the posting you had, wherever they sent you to, you were cool with it?
I wasn't where I was supposed to be.
With regards to the course you did in
yes.
school? Okay. So they took you somewhere, like what you studied in school, your posting didn't really correspond?
Yes, so I should have been in a hospital environment.
Okay.
And that would have added to my experience. I would have made my CV look good. But they put me in a teaching, in a secondary school to go and teach. With the idea that because I went to University of Cape Coast, it's a teaching, I want to do education. So they assumed that they were supposed to post me to a teaching school.
Okay.
I tried to change it, but they didn't give me room to change it, so I had to bear with it.
Okay.
So I taught for a year, and that was what ended up on my CV.
Okay. So right after like teaching for your national service, what happened? Did you start applying for jobs before service ended, or you waited till national service ended and then you started applying for jobs?
I started applying for jobs before service ended, but I never got any hits, no interviews till after national service.
After national service, okay. So that's when you got your job, your first job.
Yes. I thought it was a job, but
But what? It wasn't a
it
job.
wasn't a job. They made it seem like a job. We went for an interview. They made the process seem so much like you're going to get employed, an appointment letter, and you get a salary.
But it didn't happen.
It didn't happen like that. So I ended up in Prudential Life Insurance. And they took me through that process. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to get a job. This is an international company. He told me the history of the company. I was so excited. Only for me to find out that you only get money if you sell insurance.
Okay.
If you don't sell, nothing for you. Everything you have used for transportation, to feed yourself, everything, it's gone down the drain. If you don't sell, nobody will reimburse you.
And how much was your national service allowance
It
back
was
then?
350 Ghana cedis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine was 559 and we were even complaining. Is it 559 or 599? One of them. 559. We were complaining.
It was changed to 559. We were the last batch for them, 350.
Oh, okay. Okay. So right after school you get into this job that says if you do not sell, no salary for you. And how was that for you as like someone who went to a very good school, you are transitioning into life, and I don't know, how did that feel?
I was trying to be positive about it. So I'm like, okay, you have the potential. They did the calculations. You have the potential of earning like as much as 5,000 cedis a month, because they give you commissions based on the premiums the customers pay every month. So if you have like 10 customers, each of them would accumulate and you'll be earning that every month. So it's like your salary depends on the effort you put in. So I was being positive and I really worked hard. I tried to cut down costs. So instead of taking a car from my house to town to go to offices, I decided to walk. I walk into town. When they said we should go in pairs, male and female, we go to offices and the females are getting hit on and we are not selling anything. They're taking contacts of the females and we are not selling anything. And I just didn't know, like I did everything I could and it even got me sick because I put on too much stress on my body. And I realized that it's not all about hard work.
It's not also all about the school you attended,
Yes.
or the courses you read, and that's something that I think in Ghana, like nobody really talks about. We are just prepared for school. They don't really tell you how life after school is going to be like, and you know, until you get there, unemployment just seems like something far away from you. I mean, anytime I used to hear about unemployed, I'm like, oh, this group of people, they are really suffering. I used to think people are unemployed because they didn't go to good schools or they didn't do good courses. That's why. But after being unemployed, I realized it's not really like that. So, how many years has it been since you've been unemployed?
Well, I can't really tell because it's been on and off.
Yeah, you get a job and then no longer get a job.
I mean, I did a bit of Uber driving for a year. The car got sold. Then went into teaching, COVID hit. Then Uber driving again for 3 months. Then did COVID testing at the airport. And that one too ended. So it's been on and off. So I always tell myself that at this point, I'm tired of the while away jobs.
Want something permanent.
I don't need a job, I need a career. I always tell myself.
Okay, so what's the difference between a job and a career?
Well, to me, or from my experience, a job is like, it's a dead end. There's no growth path. You can't move from maybe worker or assistant to supervisor to manager or something. There's no climb. And I've encountered job opportunities like that and I rejected it. I got a job in a pharmaceutical company. I was going through the training and I was supposed to be a sales rep. So I observed all the managements and they were all like Indians. It was an Indian company and they were all related to the owner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were related. Uncles, sons, cousins.
A family business.
Yeah, it was a family business. And I realized there was not even a single Ghanaian in the top management. Like finance manager, HR manager, the managing director, none. And the longest working worker was like 10 years plus, like 12 years. I'm like, so there's no promotion or nothing. They said, nah, you just stay here. I was like, nah, I can't do this. So I made an excuse and I left. So like that's a job. Like you can't go and do any course or upgrade and get promoted to another level.
So they don't want you to upgrade yourself.
Yes. It's just a dead end job. That's what I call a job. And a career is something that you can grow into. Like there are positions that you can elevate yourself and grow into. And you can even end up spending your whole life there till pension, and you will not remain at one place by the time you're on pension.
So wisdom, you've already shared your expectations for life after school. And me too, I'm going to share mine because this topic is very dear to our hearts. So for me, my expectations for life after school were very great because in my head, right from the time I was a child to like university, I always thought by doing well in school academically, you are planting seeds for greatness after school, or you are building a foundation.
Yes.
So in my mind, from we wrote BEC after JHS so that we could get good schools to go to SHS.
Yes.
And I did that. I worked hard and I got a good senior high school. I went to Lady Charles Senior High School, Cape Coast. Pattern on verba, action on words. Hey, actions, not words. So when I got there, I also tried to work hard and then get a good University of Ghana. And so I thought, okay, that means when I work hard in University of Ghana for life, I'm sorted.
You're sorted, right?
Yeah, but it did not happen like that. That was a very big shock to me. And
coming out, you have these big dreams, how you imagine your life. You know?
Yes, because the plan was...
You get married at a certain age, buy a car at a certain age, get a house at a certain age.
Yeah.
Everything is all laid
and
out.
Everything was in the 20 to 30 period. My plan, like by 24, I would have done this, I would have married, I would have had kids, I would have had a house, I would have moved out of my parents' house. By now, I would have been supporting my parents, or have been building and all those kinds of things. Those were the plans for life after school. And nobody really made me understand. Because I had seen adults doing what they wanted.
Exactly.
Like they were prospering. So
were going according to plan.
Yeah. My mother was a banker, my father was a journalist. So me, I thought they went to school and then they got what they want. So me, so I've gone to school. I'm going to get what I want. But life after school is shock to me because national service, I went to teach. My boss was the best, my head mistress, she was the best. I had a wonderful, that season of my life was like priceless. I enjoyed my national service. There were so many accommodations made for me because of my lived experience with bipolar disorder. My stress levels were reduced. Then I tried to teach at 1 or 2 schools after service. The last one, they fired me because they found out about my condition. And around that time, I had friends who had been working at the same place since after service till that time I got fired. So I began to ask myself, what's going on? Everybody seems to be in their lane, but now they've built relationships, networks. They are actually climbing the ladder. So maybe they started out as some maybe they started at a table in a corner somewhere, they are moving them into offices.
Yes.
So I was like, what's going on? It began to, I began to feel like I was under a curse, because it didn't make sense that why is everybody getting
it's like crossed my mind many times.
Yeah, they can actually keep jobs. You know how people say they date someone they can't keep, like I can't keep a man. That's how in my life I started feeling like it's like I can't keep a job. What's going on? And at the beginning, maybe this was when I was like 24, 25. I turned 29 last month. So when I was 24, 25, I wasn't panicking.
Okay.
Because it's like, when you're after school, it's not difficult. Like your time will come. 24, 25, I was like, we are getting there. We are getting there. And you see, my parents, they've done very well in this my unemployment period. They have not thrown any shade at me or anything. But I just want a regular. Okay, let me ask you this question. Wisdom, why do you want a job? I mean, why do you want to no longer be unemployed and change your status to employed?
I want to be financially independent. I realize that if you are dependent at this age, you are somehow treated like a child. They question everything. Even if you ask for money, they will question what you want to do with the money before they give it out to you. The things that you want to do. I have plans, I have things that I want to execute, but then you need a lot of money to do that, and you cannot put that burden on certain people.
Yeah, so you want to do that for yourself.
Yeah, financial independence, have your own financial control, get to lead your life. It's also a level of growth, a level of maturity for you to handle yourself financially, for you to take care of yourself from top to bottom financially without any input from anyone. It's a level of maturity that one has to get to this point.
And it makes you also feel good about yourself.
Exactly. You feel proud of your achievements. No one can take that away from you.
If, let's say, right after school, I had never been employed before, like after national service, I think maybe by now I'd have been very frustrated, very, very desperate, very frustrated. But once I had worked before, and my last job was a very good paying job, I had a regular source of income, I had benefits, allowances, I traveled a little. I'm not saying abroad, but like it was fun. A lot of activity, meeting people, networking. I mean, working with different organizations, local, international. I mean, and then now you become unemployed. It takes a lot on you. I mean, that pain is like divorce. I've never been divorced before, but it's like divorce and bereavement. I mean, the first year when I was unemployed, which was last year, I'm telling you, I was sad. You think that I was bereaved, and I just felt, let me weep for the loss of my job, the loss of my income.
And I can really relate to what you're saying, because I mean, it depends on the job as well. Okay, like when I was driving Uber, like when I told people I was a university graduate, they didn't believe me. Like they were shocked at my level of education, and I'm behind the wheel. Now you see a lot more of those around. But back then, was it 2017 or 2018? The people were surprised. And that job didn't really come with any sort of prestige. So when I lost it wasn't so devastating. As well as a teaching job, people ask you what do you do for a living, and you say I'm a teacher. You see like the enthusiasm just drop. Then I got the job at the airport, and I'm like, okay, I'm at the airport. And like, okay, the respect is different, the status is different, the way they talk to you is so different. Even the money was different.
Everything was different.
Yeah, like having that freedom. You're late to work. You didn't wake up early. You were tired. You were stressed. And you could just take a boat all the way from Tema to Kotoka, and you wouldn't even flinch or even worry about how much it will appear, even if you get stuck in traffic. Like those are just
your heart
images.
is not beating.
It's
Like
not beating.
you don't mind if the price changes by the time you get there.
Yeah, and you could take yourself out like once or twice a month, just go and enjoy yourself, have a good meal, and it wouldn't even knock or rock your account. But then once you lose that job, you lose that lifestyle, you are unemployed. And sometimes you have to survive on less than 500 CDs and all that. It hits you different. Experiencing that and coming down, it can hit you mentally in a different way. It can really devastate you. So I understand what you're saying.
And I think that's what made us, like I said, very good friends, because we could resonate with a lot of. I mean, if I was employed and Wisdom was talking about the struggles of unemployment, I wouldn't really relate. I'll be like, oh, don't worry, God will help you, you'll get a job. And that's what most people do to us. Like,
Yeah,
people
you realize they don't understand. Oh, you get a job. Hey, are you applying for jobs?
Yeah.
Do you go to Jobberman? Are you on LinkedIn? Hey, are you sure?
Are you sure the jobs are on LinkedIn?
And they make it
That's
seem
what
like
it is.
you are not putting in any effort. You're just sitting in the house doing nothing. Like you're not actually making any effort. But they don't realize sometimes it's not that easy to get a job. It's not that easy.
And we are also not saying that there are no jobs on LinkedIn and all that. There are jobs, but sometimes you are just not getting a job. You go for interviews. Look, I've gone for interviews and me and the people we fight. They looked at me, I looked at them, they questioned me, I responded. Me sometimes when I get out of interviews, I'm like, this one, Father.
You had a few laughs. You're like,
Yeah, this is mine.
Like
and sometimes, one thing about me, sometimes I try to be faith-filled. And then I remember last year there was this job I thought I had. And I wrote, I am that role in Jesus' name on my wall. And every day I was confessing this job. I am this and that and this and that. And I'm like, God, I cannot be saying this thing every day and it is not mine. And the painful aspect was when I thought I would get a job and I had already started creating
scenarios and imagining yourself in that role.
Yeah, when I get that role, I'll be able to do this for myself. It's like they've not paid you your salary, but you already think you have paid. They say they'll pay how much? They'll pay 1,000. Okay, if they are paying 1,000, then I'll do this, I'll do that, then you get a rejection email. Me and rejection emails now last year got to a point where I was angry. I'm telling you. Like, even sometimes when people send me an email, I'm just looking forward to the bottom of the email because that is the place where they will tell you the truth. Because at the beginning it was like a love letter, they are telling you all the good stuff about you. Then they are like, we had a great interview. Like, it really hurts. I mean, last year.
But you're lucky enough to even get interviews and get rejection.
Yeah, that's what some people say, but sometimes,
I don't get called for interviews. And when I go for an interview, they don't even have the courtesy of sending an email that, oh, you did not qualify or blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't hear from them.
It just goes to.
They go to, you call, you follow up, they don't even pick up the concept. So,
as I'm speaking, I've not been to a lot of interviews. I'm not, the way I'm saying it, it's not like I've been for 10 interviews. I can tell you, I think maybe I've probably been to like 3 interviews, and it seemed like we were vibing and it didn't work out. It's hurtful. Like, this is an aspect of our life that people don't really talk about. So Wisdom, what are some of the things you have been involved in since you've been unemployed? Because I know Wisdom is a very hard worker. He has been doing a whole lot.
yeah, well,
Before people think you are just unemployed and sitting in the house.
I mean, I did photography, I did Uber driving, I did started a business selling honey.
Yeah. I'll put the details there so that people will place their orders.
If I felt like if no one would employ me, let me also like employ myself. But then it's still not easy because where the capital coming from? The loan, the rates are so huge, and even the conditions to get the loan is crazy. And I don't even want to start a business on a loan. That's too much pressure. Yeah, so like I've been trying my best from those aspects, but it's still not easy. And when people are giving you suggestions, people who are working, sometimes the suggestions they give, I wonder if they themselves they would like to follow. Seriously. Like someone asked me that I should have a license, use what you have, quoting scriptures and all that. They asked Moses what he had in his hand, and there was a staff, and it turned into a snake, blah blah blah. So you have a license, use what you have. Go to a taxi station, ask them if they want a spare driver. Spare driver, taxi. Go to a trotro station, go and get a trotro and drive. Don't be in the house. And I'm just listening to this and I'm like, okay. And when I just allow the person to finish talking, then I just don't want to be rude. And that is it. Because honestly, like if they ask you to do that to go and feed your family, how much will you bring home? On all that exhaustion and the stress.
Wisdom. What are some of the challenges you have faced as a result of your unemployment status? Apart from the fact that I think we've talked about not having that financial independence and what things.
Not having the freedom to do what you want to do. Like sometimes you want to go somewhere or you need to go somewhere but you can't because
like an event like a wedding, you have to cancel.
You have to cancel.
And you can't also explain why you are canceling to the person you
I've avoided so many weddings and funerals that's because of
financial.
I can't afford to go.
And when you say can't afford, maybe you can't afford to get the person a gift. You also can't afford to pay a donation or transportation to the event.
Even outfits or something.
You need to look nice.
You can't. Or transportation to the place.
In and out. Depending on the location. Wisdom is just talking about like everything I've been going through to. Hey, let's say going through to
so apart from that to being unemployed, people don't realize it, but sometimes they sort of write you off. Like there's this
stigma
or this undertone disrespect or sort of looking down on you because you're unemployed and you're not of a certain status, so they treat you in a certain way. They don't realize it, but I see the difference because I've been employed before and I'm unemployed. I see the difference in like the way I'm being treated or the way I'm being regarded. Sometimes even family, they mean well, but they make it seem as though you are incompetent, that you are where you are because you are not putting in any effort, like it's your fault.
It's your fault you are unemployed.
It's your fault that you're unemployed, and it hurts, honestly. You can't say it, they don't really realize it, they do it all the time. They might not even notice it. It might not be like intentional.
It's like it's subtle.
Yeah, it's subtle, but you see it in a subtle way. So like it really hurts, and the main reason why we're talking about this is the mental health aspect, right?
Yeah.
So like it depends on one, who you are, like who you are as a person, your dreams, your aspirations, and how your unemployment has delayed you. Like you're someone you want to be big, you're envisioning your life as like some big time business person, and like now you're not even getting a job for you to start implementing those plans or putting those plans into action, and you feel like you are lagging behind. Two, it also depends on your background or your circumstance. As in, I went to an international school. Like most of my friends are outside the country, doing very well.
Those you were in class with?
I was in class with, outside the country, doing very well. And recently it was it a 25-year anniversary for my school, and they formed an alumni WhatsApp group, and people were just catching up, and like, where are you now? Oh, I'm a doctor in the US, I'm doing this, and posting pictures. People bragging about they were not bragging, but like just talking about their achievements. And it it put a whole lot of psychological pressure on me. And we were supposed to attend the event. I didn't go, honestly. Like, I don't want to go there and you're like, oh, what are you doing now? And I just can't face that. So that's one of the reasons why sometimes we avoid certain events like weddings. You go and meet your university mates there. One of them is getting married. You go, someone will come with his car.
Yeah, the car just came to my mind.
Someone will come with their children, the wife and the kids, and they ask you, Charlie, where you doing now? Charlie, what's up? It's been a long. You're looking good. Charlie, where you doing? The money come on. You know, it's a joke. The money come on. Where you doing? By now you did some big time. Nestle or something. And like, Charlie, I did such job. I just don't want to go through that. It gives you so much psychological pressure. Like the kind of people that you went to school with and the achievement that they've had, it can give you a huge pressure or a huge something to catch up to. And thirdly, the gender. Like as a man, you want to have your own place, have a fiancé, get married and all that. You're unemployed. Where do you start? Like when are you even going to get your own place? Set up your room, set up your life before you even bring the woman into the picture and even talk about taking care of another person and even talk about having kids. So as a man, as you're getting older, that pressure too is there. It's like, Charlie, when am I going to get married? I'm not getting any younger. But even having your own place, one is you have not even achieved that and you're talking about marriage. So it puts so much pressure on you and you get depressed, you get sad, why are all these things happening to you? Like, well, what's going on? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? All these people who are achieving these things, what are they doing differently that I'm not doing? You try to do the same thing and it doesn't work. It's like, what is going on? And once you realize that you don't have that control, like it gets so frustrating. And sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed. Like you just can't deal with anything. You don't feel like eating. You're in bed all day. You're in the dark. You don't want to talk to anyone. You're so sad
and you don't pick my calls. Wisdom doesn't want to say it, but I don't know if it's last year or this year. He was so depressed.
It was this year, I was avoiding everybody.
Yeah, he wasn't picking anybody's calls, not replying messages. I was so scared and freaked out that I wanted to even go to his house because it's like the bubbly wisdom I know has just gone on flight mode mentally and everything. And when you're unemployed, if you don't, that doesn't happen to you, then I think you must be very different because you will have days like that. Me like this, since I've been unemployed, I think I have a very bad habit of waking up early because I know when I wake up early, don't follow me, but it's just a reminder of, by this time, if I was employed, I would, like the past, I would have been getting ready for work, preparing my food, my lunch bag. But look, I wake up and it's like, wow, I'm still in this house, my parents' house, I still live with them. I'm still not employed and I still see my affirmations and my confessions on the wall. And it's like, what is going on? I still look at my calendar. And sometimes the depressing part is when you watch sometimes people's social media, the WhatsApp status, Instagram stories. And it's like, why are people prospering? Why are people prospering and I'm not prospering? And look, we are not saying that when you are unemployed, you are not prospering. But sometimes, like, I think it's different for everybody. Like, someone like me, like, I have a great vision of how I plan my life to go out. So when it's not really panning out the way I want, that's when the frustration comes in, the sadness. And what you talked about wisdom, the part about meeting people and people asking you, that part hits a lot. I remember when I was working, like when I was unemployed, I used to go for events, then I see name, designation, like a position, company, organization. And I used to write unemployed, blah, blah, blah. It was very sad. Then when I got a job, now when they give me the pen, I boldly write my name, SNM designation, project coordinator, where do you work, mental health society of Ghana, mess up my phone number. Now when I go for those programs and they give me my phone, it's very sad. Like, I'm like, wow, is this where I've come back to? Or I meet people, and you know, adults, they will just ask you the question as if they are asking you, how are you doing? Like, where are you working now? What are you doing? And sometimes it's not just me. Like, sometimes people call my parents. I know they mean well, but they ask my parents, like, what are I up to? And my parents have done well in trying to explain my challenges and sometimes what I'm doing currently and what the fact that they believe in me. They don't throw shade at me like, oh, where's now is unemployed. Like, they seem very hopeful. But as a person, when I'm in my room and I overhear those conversations, I just become sad. Sometimes I even cry because I did not wish this for them. This is not the life that I was wishing that they will be having to tell people. And I'm not saying people like just some random people. These are like close family members or close family friends. And it's just, it kind of gets depressing. I did not know I'll ever be in this situation. And
honestly, you wouldn't even imagine it. And you get to a point you ask yourself, after, you know, you were so eager to get out of school and have your freedom and have your free time, right? Now you're out of school, you're unemployed for so long.
And you have a lot of free time.
You sleep and you wake up the next day. You sleep, you wake up the next day. And it's, you know, when you have a job, you wake up with a purpose. I have to wake up and go here. I have to wake up and do this. I have to wake up and go to work. When you sleep and you wake up with no purpose, sometimes you ask yourself, like, what are you doing in this world? Like, what at all? Like, why did I even wake up right now? You have nowhere to go, no job to go to. You don't even have any appetite. Like, what is your purpose at all? You know, like, you feel useless. That's the word. Like, sometimes I wake up, I feel useless. I feel worthless. Like, what's the whole point? And there are triggers, you know, that makes you more depressed. Yeah, you're trying to. It's like there's a huge weight on you. You're trying to hold it, and other things will add to it. Like, oh, you are there, and maybe the prepaid in the house will just finish. And your dad has to go for his pension money to go and buy the prepaid. When if you had mobile money or something, you could have easily bought it. So maybe that evening, that night, you would have ended up sleeping in the dark, and it just demoralizes you the more. Or these undertone jabs from your parents. Like you be there, your dad will enter the room. You just want to be in the bed all day. And like, hey, so the whole day your phone will be on like that. They prepaid it. And you know, it adds to the triggers, you know, it makes you feel worse. You're barely trying to hold on, like you're barely trying to hold on, and these little jabs come in the way. Or like you get sick and you don't even have the money to go to the hospital, or you dread going to the hospital because you can't afford it. You don't have you can't afford to pay for the drugs or even the treatment. So the last thing you need right now is to fall sick. And these are little triggers that come in as like, isn't it enough? What more could I endure? Like, what is all this? Why is all this happening to me?